All right, we're going to go ahead and get started. Again, thank you for everyone for joining us today to learn more about our new flexible entry-level apprenticeship program. My name is Tina Berger, and I'm the Director of Talent Development for FloridaMakes. And I have Daniele Orozco-Cole, who is joining us staff today as our apprentice administrator. So to begin with, some of you may not be familiar with FloridaMakes, so I wanted to just do a very brief overview of the FloridaMakes and our network. We are a Florida member of the MEP National Network, and that is the Manufacturing Extension Partnership program in the U.S. Department of Commerce and the National Institute of Standards and Technology. It is the MEP mission to assist small and medium-sized manufacturers by providing resources that will help them grow and prosper. And so one of the resources we're showing today is some of the work that we're doing in talent development on a statewide level. We are a collection, our network is a collection of the 12 regional manufacturing associations throughout the state. And we also have other partners. You'll see Grow Florida here, and Connex, and Flate is now under the FloridaMakes umbrella as well. So some of our core services, just want to make sure that you're familiar with that. We have business advisors who are very experienced manufacturing professionals embedded in most of the regional manufacturing associations that you can contact locally, and they will help you with any of the services listed here, whether it's enterprise growth, accelerating your technologies. We have a very robust list of third-party providers that can provide education and resources to help your business grow, and also to help improve your supply chain. And in this case, we're going to give you a presentation on our statewide apprenticeship program. And without further ado, you can go to the FloridaMakes website and find all kinds of information there should you need more information, or you may contact me and I'll have that information at the end of the webinar. So today, what I really wanted to do was introduce you to the IMT Apprentice program, how we kind of got here today, the benefits of the online program to the manufacturers in the state of Florida, do a quick overview of the very simple process of enrollment, and then just make sure that you understand how our business advisors can help you through this process as well. So apprenticeship is a time-honored way of earn and learn training through all of the heights of our manufacturing in the United States. Apprenticeship is how most people learned skilled occupations. So registered apprenticeships do provide an opportunity for you to custom train your workforce, aligning that with curriculum that is then actually taught on the job in your workplace. They earn and learn, and so while they're working for you, it provides opportunities for advancement, but it also helps them gain skills that can improve your bottom line. And once it's been proven that apprenticeship programs help to reduce turnover rates, there's a commitment between the employer and the growth of that particular employee. It has proven to increase productivity and lower the cost of recruitment by reducing turnover, and helps to increase safety in the workplace because of this additional training. And this is borrowed from, I believe, the Department of Labor, but for every dollar spent on registered apprenticeships, employers see an average return of $1.50. That's a pretty good rate of return. And it's also documented that 97% of participating employers who use this process for training highly recommend it. So there are 5 key components to all registered apprenticeship programs. I will get into the specifics of our program, but it really is a program that tries to meet high quality training, giving both employers and apprentices a pathway for training. Business involvement centers around the foundation of the training in the workplace, because we're trying to make sure that your employees have the skills that are needed in your facility. There is a structured on-the-job training. They must receive training from an experienced mentor. In some highly skilled programs, those are journeymen. Our particular program is entry level. So the bar there is that the employer will determine who the mentor is. Typically, it's someone who has worked there for several years, who understands the foundational components of an entry level position. There must be technical instruction, and that is curriculum that is delivered either online or in a classroom setting, or a combination of both. So there is on-the-job training that aligns with that technical instruction. And it is a component that there are wage increases, that is, the apprentice demonstrates their skills with competency and knowledge, that there are slight wage increases, or as much as the employer wants to attach to that for going through the program. And at the end, if they meet all the requirements of the apprenticeship, then they will receive, in this case, a certificate of apprenticeship completion from the state of Florida, the Department of Education, and it is a nationally industry recognized credential that certifies that the apprentice is qualified to do this job. So if it's a CNC machinist, that would be what their certification was. In this case, we have the industrial manufacturing technician. So just a little bit of the background here. You will see here that the standards of apprenticeship are, we are registered within the state of Florida. FloridaMakes is the sponsor, which makes it much easier for individual manufacturers to join this program. So the FloridaMakes has an advanced manufacturing workforce leadership council that is composed of representatives from the 12 regional manufacturing associations. And this leadership council was formed about 2 years ago to advise our partners, such as CareerSource or the Department of Economic Opportunity, the state college system, et cetera, on workforce-related challenges and opportunities. The council identified 3 areas of focus, and one of them was expanding apprenticeships throughout the state of Florida. Our other 2 areas of focus are career perceptions, making sure that we're attracting talent to manufacturing jobs, and the other area of focus is retaining and retraining existing workforce. So in this case, the work committee sat together with our partners at CareerSource Florida, with Ted Norman, who is the state director of apprenticeship, and we created this program which the manufacturers wanted entry-level core foundational training, not attached to a specific occupation, but to manufacturing in general. It needed to be short-term, it needed to be flexible, it needed to be online and on demand, and it needed to be affordable. And so about 14 months later, working through all of that, we have successfully registered this program. So even though you will be getting a lot of paperwork with this, it really is just guidelines that we've created for the employer to navigate through this system very, very easily. So industrial manufacturing technician was actually registered as an official occupation with the Department of Labor in 2014. That is important because when you're working with organizations and applying for grants, et cetera, there must be an ONET code associated with it. The caveat here is it is a brand new occupation, And so we need to make sure that it gets entered into on-demand occupation list in the state of Florida. So as an entry-level registered apprenticeship program, it is also, again, as I sort of said, it's divided into two segments. We use the Certified Production Technician 4.0 curriculum, which is part of the Manufacturing Standards Skills Council. This program has been created and has received acclaim throughout the United States for the quality of the program. It is taught throughout the state in the high school programs as well as our engineering technology programs in the state college. So that's the curriculum, and then there is accompanying on-the-job learning to master those competencies. And again, MSSC, Manufacturing Skills Standards Council, partnered with our educators in the state, in the country, workforce agencies, and actually manufacturing industry advisors to create this program. As of June 1 of this year, it is now CPT, Certified Production Technician 4.0, because every 3 years they bring these people back together and ask what's changed in manufacturing. And so the newest curriculum that we are offering, again, foundationally introduces the apprentice into the Industry 4.0 technologies, whether that's additive manufacturing, mechatronics, robotics, just a little bit of introduction. Again, no specific implied skills there. So acronyms sort of make me crazy. So you hear a lot of these different acronyms, and what I like to do is kind of do the family. The mother, if you will, is the FloridaMakes Advanced Manufacturing Apprenticeship Program. We are the sponsors. We process all the paperwork. We manage all of the records, etc. Our first child is the Industrial Manufacturing Technician, or the IMT. The FloridaMakes Advanced Manufacturing Program can add other programs like the IMT to our family should we decide to do other specific apprenticeship programs. And in the Industrial Manufacturing Technician program, we are using the CPT curriculum, the Certified Production Technician curriculum. So that's the family there and how you go from the mothership down to the very specifics of this program that we're presenting today. So what is it? Sounds great. It is a competency-based hybrid registered apprenticeship program in the state of Florida. Its intent is to provide production workers knowledge and competency using that CPT curriculum needed in an advanced manufacturing environment. We have, the manufacturers have come up with in our apprenticeship committee that there are 200 online curriculum hours that are delivered through the MSSC Amatrol e-learning platform, and there are 2,000 hours of on-the-job applied training. So it is basically a one-year program, but we don't go by years because this is competency-based. They must complete 2,000 actual work hours, not including sick days or vacation. Just want to put that in there. So they're going to learn the basics on how to set up and operate and monitor equipment. They're going to learn about safety processes, manufacturing processes, and understand that manufacturing is actually a sophisticated integrated business system. And they continue on to learn how to manage materials and consumables. So the cost here, as we are delivering this program online, we in effect have bypassed the need for this to be taught in a classroom or in a college where there is an instructor needed, as this is a very foundational program. So it is delivered completely online, and therefore we have minimized a lot of the costs. Now, we are not saying that blended learning in the classroom may be needed for some of your employees or for some people. So we're presenting another option out there where people who cannot get to college, either they're single parents or they have to take care of family or they have transportation issues or the technical school is an hour and a half away, they still can use this as an avenue to moving up in their careers. So if you are a member of your regional manufacturing association, it is $950, including everything, tuition per the apprentice, for the online training and the whole handbook, instructional guidelines, etc., which I will show you in a moment. If you are not a member, you may still join this program. I would encourage you to join your RMA because there are all kinds of additional services and opportunities there for you to grow your business. The only thing it does not include is that in the apprenticeship program, they do not have to sit for the certified production technician assessments. That is a separate certification that is given through the MSSC as a national certification. But that particular test, there are 4 modules. There's safety, production, quality, and measurement. There is an actual test for each of those. Should you, the employer, or the apprentice decide to sit for that, it is a proctored exam that is given either through an MSSC center, which are located in almost all the state colleges, or due to COVID, MSSC has partnered with proctoring you so that that assessment can be delivered actually online. But those fees for that assessment are paid directly to the assessment center. And it is not a requirement of completing the IMT program. They must just prove competency that they have completed the online instruction and that the employer is satisfied that they have met the competency guidelines of this apprenticeship program. So once again, ours is a combination of online instruction versus classroom instruction, but you are providing, which you already do, the relevant job training in your facility. So rather than learning about generic safety standards in manufacturing, they're going to learn that through the online instruction, but the mentor that you assign to them is actually going to walk them over and show them your MSDS data and where your things are stored so that it is very specific to your facility. And again, this is a proven concept over the years. However, what manufacturers want now is they want hybrids that minimize the training time, et cetera, due to innovations in advanced manufacturing. We don't necessarily need 4-year programs anymore, except when that is deemed necessary. And so the online instruction is related only to these entry-level manufacturing occupations, but it doesn't matter if it's a machine shop or if it's a medical production or it's food production or whatever. You will see from the some of the samples that I give you that this is very flexible. And this really does encourage your employees who need flexible schedules to start down a promising pathway to a higher level career. So the advantages are it's online and on demand. If you were to choose someone right now and find a mentor for them, the whole process right now of getting them up and online and connected into their online training is 7 to 10 days. And that's just processing paperwork back and forth. And getting them access to their online training, payment of the tuition, et cetera. Most traditional apprenticeship programs go because they are taught through the school system. They start in August, and an apprentice would have to wait typically until the next year to join this program. With our program, they may start at any time. They can take this at home. They can take it on weekends. They can take it on their own schedule. So you can see how flexible that is. If the employer wants them to be able to do it on their lunch hour, the 200 hours of curriculum are not paid and is not included in those 200 hours of on-the-job training. but we don't really care where they take the online instruction. That's the beauty of this. They can take it anywhere. There's no travel involved. They don't have to go anywhere. They don't have to come home, eat a sandwich, and go sit in a classroom for 2 or 3 hours, because they will oftentimes be taking this online in a classroom as well. But again, there are some people who do best in that setting, and we're certainly not trying to marginalize that. We're just saying we feel a lot of people are left behind because of that, those barriers to access. They proceed at their own pace. They learn the specific skills that are important to that employer. They can earn at the CPT certification. If they do sit for the CPT assessment, which we will certainly encourage them to do since they're already doing all the work, it does articulate into the state college, Florida State College system, into 15 college credits if they continue on in a manufacturing related degree. And it is very attractive. We're always trying to attract women and underrepresented populations into manufacturing. And this is a program that is very appealing to them. In fact, our very first apprentice who has started this program is a single mother who did not have a driver's license, and she is so excited and she's doing so well in this program. So I use that just as an example. Let me get back here to my arrows. So I want to just go through the enrollment process so you see how easy it is. That you select a candidate. All the work is in your company, meaning that the people do not have to sit before approval committees unless you choose to do that within your organization. You choose your candidate. You choose, an appropriate mentor. There is an application, but that is a formality that the Department of Education requires. They just fill that out. You could, again, depending on what your policies are in the company. And then once they review, we send the standards for the apprenticeship and the occupational requirements. This is all online digitally. We have a whole enrollment packet that walks you through the steps. Once you all agree to the standards, you then sign a Department of Education apprentice agreement and an employer agreement. Those come back to FloridaMakes. We process everything. An invoice is created and sent to the employer. Once we receive those funds, we connect with the AMITROL education system and enroll your employee or new apprentice into the program, and off they go. The apprentice and the mentor should be working very closely with each other. Most apprenticeship programs require a one-on-one. It's meant to be a very focused, intense training, but because this is an entry-level occupation, the Department of Education has allowed us to have one mentor to 2 apprentices in this program. But there could be, you might have 3 different shifts. As long as you have mentors, you can assign 1 to 2 apprentices to each mentor. You just can't have one mentor for 20 people. So, but it's flexible in that way. And so they get registered. Again, they receive their login, and then they enroll online. And then they will also, again, have that on-the-job training component. Now, I'll go back up to where you see possible EWT. That is employed worker training funding. We encourage you to work with your regional career source office, Veterans Florida. This training, because we are on the Florida Department of Education Registered Apprenticeship Program, you are eligible to receive reimbursement depending on your local workforce board's policies. So we encourage you to, number one, if you contact the FloridaMakes business advisor in your region, they will help you find the funds. But in the beginning, this is transactional between the employer and FloridaMakes. And then typically, an employer is reimbursed for those training funds, but this program is available also through Veterans Florida, which pays tuition and on-the-job training for the mentor who is teaching as well. So again, we want you to be aware that there are funding opportunities here for that $950 and also possibly to absorb the cost of those assessments, which are approximately $240 to take all 4 of those assessments. But again, those assessment fees are eligible for reimbursement. Again, depends on each career source board's local policies. So that's the easy part of this. What I'm showing you here, and this is all again put into a training manual. These are the work-related processes that they are learning in as part of the online curriculum. And there are job functions associated with each of the 4 modules. Again, safety, quality, production, and measurement. And so this has 43 competencies, so I'm just showing you a few of them. So here's one example in the safety category. How to protect yourself and others from accidents and injuries. Follow employer safety requirements, including consistent and proper use of protective clothing. Where you see supervisor and instructor, once they have reviewed that curriculum and they look at the related training, which you will see after that, when the supervisor mentor feels that that person is competent and understands that, they will receive a check mark there. And these competencies here must be turned in at the end of the program, because this is a serious program, and we want to make sure that they're not only meeting the level of going through the curriculum, but that you, the employer, is satisfied with their competency. So this goes on and on. There are 43 of these, and all of these are available. I'm happy to send them to you to review as well. Now, this is what the mentor would be using, as well as I do have an instructor's set of guidelines as well. This is what the mentor will be also making sure in the workplace that this is what they are learning on the job. This complements and aligns to the online curriculum. This goes on for 7 pages, okay? But you can see here that in this chapter, under safety, they know how to locate and use the safety data sheet. So your mentor better know that if that's who you're assigning. They understand the company first aid policy. They understand how to handle materials. So this goes on, and it's a very structured training program. So if you do not have all of the resources, you're a small company, to have a sophisticated HR department and training guidelines, this is a way for you to ensure consistent training and onboarding of new employees. So this goes on and on again. There are 7 pages of this, but I like to show an example so that you can see the complementary tools that you would be receiving. So I'm just going to highlight some of the benefits here, and then we'll be open for questions. So the benefits to your operation and to your training manager is that this is instructional design that's created by experts. There is a way to teach and there is a way to design curriculum. And through this program, you have the benefit of that Manufacturing Skills Standards Council expertise. It's scalable. As I said, you can teach people in shifts. You can teach them in different locations. We have one of our board members who has 4 different locations throughout the state of Florida. But by using a program like this, they're ensuring that those employees in each of their locations are getting the same consistent training. And it saves time because they're learning online on their own time, and then you can focus more of your time to train on the job or to teach other things. Again, this program has a very low cost. Typically, an apprenticeship program, when it's going through the traditional college system, the tuition, if you will, it varies between $5,000 and $7,000 per year per apprentice. So again, we were able to provide another alternative to really lower the costs, even if an employer had to pay for it themselves, the $950. It's really kind of a small investment in keeping an employee and helping them grow with your company. And the courses, again, are updated by industry experts continuously. And it is part of a blended learning solution. They're taking that curriculum and then they're applying it in the workplace. We're eliminating that need for travel. And if you're a green company, we're saving money and time and the environment by the carbon footprint by doing it online. And it gives your employee who might not have another alternative a competitive advantage to moving up a career path. We see this entry level, the manufacturers who created this, and it's important for you to understand this was created by manufacturers just like you to pull this program together. We want to see this program cross over into other apprenticeship programs as well. This could potentially be the first year of a CNC machinist apprenticeship. And we will be working, again, we're just launching this, but we will be working the next couple of months with some of the other highly skilled occupation apprenticeship programs in the state to see if we can combine this. The other advantage to this for an employer is the flexibility of it. This is the core. When you see the core program, you can add other trainings into this through some of our other providers, and MSSC has additional online curriculum, but they must meet the foundational core standards to receive this. But you can add more. You might want to add additional math or additional blueprint reading or a specific course that's available that is relevant to your company. So for example, I'm having a call with the company on Friday that's a maritime company, and they have some specific skills that they want, trainings that they want to add onto this as a base program, and that is also very acceptable, and we're happy to work with companies on that as well. Again, I refer you back. This is where our business advisor will relieve you of many headaches by working through them. So the employer responsibilities, again, just quickly promote the program internally. You know, your employees, if you want to do this, it's important that you make your employees aware that this is a way for them to move up the career ladder in your company. You need to identify a mentor that you trust who, you know, will make sure that their applied learning is relevant. Again, identify apprentice candidates. And you have to be thoughtful about providing a guided range of work processes that complement that training, the online curriculum. And again, making sure that they are receiving the instruction and that they are completing those competency assessments. And it's very important because you can real-time be providing that apprentice feedback on their progress. And there's a minimal cost, again, to that tuition. The benefit to the employee is that they get to complete training on their own schedule. You know, they can go home, go to a PTA meeting, help their kids with their homework when it's quiet in the house, decide when they want to do this. Again, anytime. They just have to complete those 200 hours. And again, they would work with their mentor and how you want to, which module you want to start with. That is completely up to you. And again, we'll walk you through that process when if you're interested in signing up for this. They complete the training at their own pace. Things come up in life, you know, look at COVID. I mean, there's such a disruption to everybody's lives right now. They can continue this program. And in fact, I also wanted to let you know that if you have someone that you've laid off, but they're still connected to you, you could be using this time for them to do the online training while they're laid off, but still feel that connection to your company and complete those on-the-job training hours when you're able to bring them back, or if they're just working part-time. So it's a way for you to stay connected to that employee. And it's a safe place to get something wrong. Not everyone is a great student in a classroom. Classrooms are very intimidating to a lot of people. but it doesn't mean that they cannot be your very best worker. So this allows them to go through the curriculum. They will be taking some tests at the end of each chapter, and it will go back and explain to them what they got wrong. And for some people, that's a much safer environment than having to be called on in a classroom. And again, leaves much more one-on-one training time for them for skills development. And it presents an opportunity for them to keep moving up. And they've chosen this training to move through this company. And easier for them to see that pathway to train up. It exposes them to different parts of your facility. And again, it's just a very well thought out program. The apprentice's responsibility is to apply for the program, let you know that they want to apply. Complete that application, turn it in, and we would work through your HR director. Commit to taking this course during their off hours. They will not be paid the 200 hours of curriculum. They must maintain a training journal and work with their mentor to achieve competencies. Again, this is all part of our enrollment packet. All of these tools have been created and are being given to the employers who sign up. And then should they choose to take those CPT assessments, they would identify on their own and sign up to take those proctored tests. And again, you would work with them through their through the HR department to decide whether or not you would help pay for that or they can receive some funding for that. So that's it in a nutshell. The important thing we wanted you to do is for you to understand the basics of this program and to be sure to discuss this as a training option with your team. You know, oftentimes I've been in business most of my life, 35 years, training people in different occupations, et cetera. But it's really important that you go to the people who are actually teaching and making sure that they think that this is a good option. And again, we encourage you to notify your FloridaMakes business advisor if you're not sure who that is or you're not sure what our what regional manufacturing association you connect to. That's all available on our website at FloridaMakes, or again, you're welcome to email me. And then we would encourage you to be thinking about if you want to seek additional funding sources to offset some of this, is to figure out which one is the best one for you, because there are different options. Right now, in fact, there is a CareerSource Florida has a state apprenticeship acceleration grant that's going to be ending in the next few months. But Broward, Jacksonville, Orlando, and I believe Southwest Florida, those local workforce boards have some funding left over in I think it's a 2 to 3 year grant that they can provide up to $3,000 to the employer to pay for this training and give you some OJT. But that's up to you to determine, you know, which source of funding is best for you. I did get a question once whether or not this qualified for GI funding, the GI Bill, and I called the Department of Veterans Affairs, and I'm in the process of registering this program with them. That doesn't offset the cost for you, but it does provide your veteran employee apprentice with additional funding through that GI Bill. So that can be, you know, these are all ways for you to attract and recruit people into this program as well. So for more information, again, FloridaMakes.com apprenticeships, that you can go on there, and all of this information is available there. So I'm finished at this point. I really want to thank you all for taking the time to learn about this. And I'm going to ask Daniele, my Vanna over there, if we have any questions in the chat room that I need to answer.
So far, I don't read any questions. So feel free to type your questions if you have any questions for Tina. Let's see, you can wait a little bit.
Everybody a minute. And again, we're happy to, if you're unsure of the CPT Enroll online curriculum, we have asked MSSC to provide temporary passcodes to employers if you wanted to have someone go in and look at the curriculum. It's a combination of simulation, online learning, et cetera. And I think everyone that we have given access to has been extremely pleased with this training.
So far, I don't read any questions. So you did a wonderful presentation as usual.
All right. Well, thank you all for joining. I hope that this has given you something to think about. A lot of time has gone into creating this program to make it as simple as it can be for an employer to enroll in this. If any of you have been involved in previous trying to get things registered in an apprenticeship program, it can take a year, and then you have to manage all the paperwork. We are taking all of that off of you, except that you are making a commitment to training your employee in a very consistent manner and giving them that opportunity. And also sometimes people say, oh, certifications don't mean anything. I just need them to know how to do this job. The reality is that our supply chain people, they oftentimes want to know that that manufacturer has people who are meeting national training standards. And having programs like this in place can oftentimes turn the head of someone who wants to do business with you as well. So I want to remind you of that as well. So without further ado, if there are no questions, thank you. Please reach out to us if you have any questions, and we will be happy to provide you with more information that you might ever want to know.